Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're talking fantasy football. That's right. It's early in the season, early in the year, talking about the 2019 season. This is your early look at a projected top 10.
It is March, so keep that in mind. But please help us out if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe, give us some likes, give us some comments at the very least. But if you really want to help us, share us, because no one shares our videos. Because if you think we're good, you're not going to share us. And if you think we're bad, you're not going to share us. It's a clear flaw in our business model for when we set this channel up.
It really is.
But we could use some love. But if you're not going to do any of that stuff, you're not going to share us, do all the other things.
Thumbs up, give a notification. We love you out there.
Get our videos some views.
And yes, no moss for baseball. Partly. Wasn't enough love.
Not enough love.
Either way, let's talk about the #1 overall player. And we were debating between 3, and we went with Zeke. The reason we went with Zeke is not only did he have a beast year last year, right? Over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, 77 catches. He did have his most touches he's had in the 3 years since joining the NFL. But the upside there, when Cooper came in, really helped the passing game. They feel like a team on the rise, and he feels very, very safe. So there's a couple question marks around the other kind of running backs we're going to talk about afterwards. Are obviously still studs, but he just feels the safest. Therefore, we're putting him at #1.
And #2, we got cousin Saquon. Lived up to every bit of the hype out there with the Giants. You know, not even playing behind the best offensive line. He still had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Played all 16 games, which you gotta like. 15 total touchdowns. Amazing rookie year. The only little kind of scary thing is with Beckham gone, you know, what other weapons are going to be on that offense that can take some pressure off of Barkley? So that is a little bit scary, but you just got to be excited about getting Barkley on your team if you can get it.
And #3, if you're in a full PPR, I can argue taking him first. And that is Mr. Christian McCaffrey. Absolutely love this kid. We love this kid coming in. Such a name code guy. Such a name code guy. And he's absolutely fantastic last year. You know, in the offseason, he was like, we're going to give him so many more touches. And we were kind of like, is that really going to happen? Is that just coach speak? But he played all 16, and boy, did he get a ton of touches. Almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage as well. 13 touchdowns. But why I'm saying in a full PPR, why you could take him 124 targets for 107 catches. This kid's the real deal. They're going to keep feeding him. He is a special talent. I absolutely love Mr. McCaffrey. Nameco guy certified.
He is fun to watch. And another guy that's fun to watch is Alvin Kamara. The guy's amazing, plays for that high-powered Saints offense, and with Ingram gone, you got to think it gives him at least a little bit of a bump. But they did bring in Latavius Murray, who can fill the Ingram role. And, you know, Kamara did get 275 touches last year. I don't see that number changing a ton. I could see it going up a little bit, but he was a touchdown machine last year, and you got to think that can continue with the amount of points that offense puts up. So we feel comfortable with Kamara at 4, and I just spoiled Brent's.
Come on! #5, that scared you a little bit. #5 is Mr. Todd Gurley, and you're going to say Nameco and Barkley, a guy that scores 21 touchdowns. He's at #5. A guy that had over 1,200 rushing yards, a ton more receiving. So he had 59 catches at #5. But think about last year. How did he end? I know he was a little bit banged up, but we saw a lot of CJ Anderson. There was just a lot of weirdness going on there. And that's not the first time that weirdness has happened with him before. So yes, he's a beast. Yes, you want to be one of the first 5 picks in your draft because I love all 5 of these guys. But there's just some weirdness going on. So he's at #5. He's weird.
All right, so we do see a tiny bit of a drop-off at running back. So we thought this was the best spot to throw in our first receiver and go with Hopkins. No Antonio Brown this year with his new home, but we just feel safest with Hopkins at this point. Few reasons. He's proven that he can, you know, still put up stats even if Watson's not in there. He's proven to stay healthy. He's only missed 1 game in his career. And the guy's a freak. I mean, you got to think if he plays 16 games and Watson is healthy, even if he's not, we still think he's going to have a good year. But you got to think over 100 catches, double-digit touchdowns, 1,400-plus yards or so. We just think Hopkins is the safest receiver heading into 2019.
And he's over that guy in Believeland now. He is over Mr. Beckham Jr. A lot of craziness going on with that. You're still taking Hopkins as the first wide receiver off the board. And #7, ooh, do I love this guy, Mr. Connor. Way to step in for the Steelers. Le'Veon, who? Don't care. Get him out of town. We got Mr. Connor. My parents are from outside of Pittsburgh, so obviously I'm somewhat of a Steelers fan. What's up, all of you Pittsburgh people? Kennywood Park, you know what I'm talking about? Any more, Dustin? All right, Mr. Connor, why he was great. 13 touchdowns, 973 rush yards, 479 receiving yards with 55 catches. This is what I'm saying about him. They have a good offense. They have a very solid offense. Even with Brown gone, Juju's going to step up. I don't think Connor is going to take a huge step forward this year, but if you're getting those type of numbers from him at number 7, you're feeling really good.
And the guy that is
thumbs up for Kennywood Park.
Gone. Le'Veon Bell is now with the New York Jets, which I'm sure you have heard. We got him at 8. We still think he's worthy of a top 10 pick just because he's Le'Veon Bell. He's an amazing player. But you can't, it's not the Steelers. The Jets, it's a huge downgrade in terms of the overall offense. But you know he's going to get the touches. But with the Jets and then the question marks of him missing an entire season, some reports saying he was a little overweight, who knows? He missed the whole season. So there's more question marks. But because of his upside, we still got him inside the top 10.
Mr. Melvin Gordon, we have at number 9. I think there's been a knock on him for years being really injury prone, but that's not the case. In his first 4 years, he's played only 16 once, but a lot of running backs miss a game or two here. He only played 12 last year, which was his least amount, but still, Melvin Gordon is just a solid running back. You're not going to be thrilled when you're taking him thinking of as an awesome cornerstone piece, but what he is going to be is consistent for you. 14 touchdowns, 1,400 yards last year. Very realistic. That's just going to continue. I think the Chargers are still going to be a solid team. Melvin Gordon is a little bit blah in terms of the excitement, but a yay in terms of consistency. Don't you like my analyst?
That was good.
A little weird and blah, yay. Jeez.
So at the 10th spot every year, we do have some debate, obviously, on, all right, do we go with Julio? Do we throw like a Mixon in there? Sometimes.
What about Odell Beckham?
Or Odell Beckham, Adams, but sometimes we throw a quarterback in there. We have no issue if there is a clear-cut number 1 quarterback, taking them early, locking them up, and that's the case this year with Mahomes. Last year we said, wait. There wasn't really that one clear-cut guy that's way above the rest, but this year there is, and it's Mahomes, obviously, after what he did last year. He won people leagues, and here's the debate that I've always said. Would you rather take Julio there and then get Breeze, a handful of rounds later, or would you rather have Mahomes and get like an Edelman or a Calvin Ridley later? There's pros and cons to each one, but I don't have an issue at all with locking up what looks to be the number 1 quarterback, number 1 consistently ranked number 1, and has the highest overall upside in terms of points out of any fantasy.
Think how hard it is to trade for that quarterback in years past, that stud after the draft. It's like impossible. Nobody wants to give him up. So I know you hear all the time, wait, but we're saying either you get Mahomes early or you wait.
Yeah.
But if you get him early, you're not going to be trading him for almost anybody because he's that,
and
there is
a pretty big drop-off after Mahomes in terms of excitement. So we don't want him at 10. We got him at 10. Feel free to leave your comments. Leave some thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And share if you want to.
First paper toss 2019. Not bad.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
A punch in the face.
Football!